vast multiverse.
Aloha! What's up, everyone? Welcome to tonight's presentation, Ancient Oblivion category. Tonight, we're talking about aliens. Aliens it is. Aliens are coming up a lot. Let's do a sound check. Should we do that first? I believe the sound is working. Last time I had some issues. That was my bad. I'll put your comments up on the screen. I just want to, have an open discussion about the concept of aliens. They're popping up a lot in the news lately. Last year and this year, they're starting to pop up all over the place. I do see some people. Let's see, we got... Let's see. Yes, Chris Rich is in the chat. It says, aliens in Miami. Let's start with that. Let's go ahead and start with that one, shall we? So, aliens in Miami. If you haven't heard already, there was a mall in Miami. Yeah, let me go ahead and get it pulled up here for us. All right, hold on. Let me bring up a picture here. There we go. All right, cool. So this is a thing that people are talking about right now, which is aliens invading a mall in Miami. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to approach the topic as I always do. I'm gonna share my opinion with you. I'm gonna share my thoughts, my research, etc., what I feel aliens are and stuff. But I also want to hear what you think too. Just because I think of something as one way doesn't mean that that's the absolute truth on the subject or the end all be all on it. But yeah, aliens invading a Miami mall. Right behind me, you can hear that. I guess they're saying that there was a giant alien at the mall. So I just want to tell you what I think about that. I don't see a reason why aliens would visit a mall in Miami. That's just off the top. You know what I mean? Like me. That's just me. I can't rationalize any good reason why aliens would be at a mall. You know what I mean? Of all the places that they could stop or visit or reveal themselves or whatever it may be. Plus, think of the danger of just revealing yourself inside of some random mall to just strangers all of a sudden. Eric, Ibu, Elliot, thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right, so yes, I'm not super convinced. I'm not convinced by a lot of the alien sightings, although I do believe in aliens. I do believe in the concept. I talk about it all the time, right? I just have a different perspective about aliens. Thank you so much, Eric. Super appreciate you. Noob, that's funny. All right, cool. Let's see. So these aliens at the mall. So let me show you some stuff here. Like, for example, this picture right here. Let's open this up. The weird thing about this is an image that was taken, from the helicopter that was at the mall or whatever. Apparently, from what I understand, the police were responding to, some sort of a fight that broke out. They said there was a lot of people involved. There was weapons involved and stuff. And somehow people put forth the idea that an alien was seen at the mall. I don't know how. I'm not convinced yet, but I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying it doesn't sound likely. The weird thing is that there's so many cop cars. There was like 60 or 70 cop cars that rolled up on the mall, which is pretty weird and strange. On the other hand, I can understand, if you have a fight at a mall and you need to respond, there's like hundreds of people at a mall, you might need to like roll up with a whole bunch of people. If it was an alien that was found at the mall, I would not expect there to be all of these, publicity, cop cars all over the place. I did hear there was like black helicopters and stuff like that. But I'm not expecting all of this. I'm expecting there to be like FBI vans and, like Secret Service stuff going on, not regular cops showing up at a mall. Maybe something crazy was happening. Maybe something else. Also, maybe people are retarded. Maybe, people of this world to me are in general stupid. Not everybody, not you, don't take it personally, but most of the world is pretty dumb these days. Unlearn the system. Hey, good to see you. Let me see what Unlearn the system says. Unlearn the System has been a member for 59 months. Congratulations and thank you for your support. Says 100% are real. I have heard from 2 different people that lately we will be having a worldwide major disclosure in 2026. I'm down to go for a ride. Right on. Good to have you here, Unlearn the System. Yeah, I totally think aliens are real as well. And I believe the aliens will show up one day. Many different kinds of aliens. We'll talk about the different kinds of aliens too. If I can remember to come back to that. But am I convinced personally that aliens, showed up at a mall at random? Not really. Just like that Las Vegas one, right? Let's check that. Let's look up the Las Vegas one, right? Las Vegas aliens. Boom. All right, so here we go. Oh, there was like some sort of a strange light that was seen in the sky, so let's check that out. All right, there was this weird light right up here over my shoulder. This blue light that was streaking across the sky. It was caught on a dash cam from a police officer, or policy enforcer. And there was a report that somebody had seen like a tall being or whatever in somebody's backyard or whatever. I think that's interesting. I think that's cool. And if it's real, then sweet, right on. However, I don't know, like just going with the traditional concept of like modern academics and how they teach like our cosmology and that aliens have to travel so far and that they have to have a certain level of intelligence or at least, technology, usually they go hand in hand in order to get here. It's hard for me to believe things like they just crashed in the middle of the New Mexico desert, or you know what I mean, or they show up at malls like Santa Claus, or that they just walk around people's backyards at random in Las Vegas or whatever. Again, I'm not saying aliens don't exist. I'm just saying that maybe there's more to these alien stories that are popping up, right? A lot of them to me don't seem believable. However, just because something doesn't seem believable in its factual, appearance or presentation doesn't mean that there's not substance behind the story or substance behind the legends or the ideas that are constantly on our minds. I mean, the topic of aliens permeates our culture from the top down, from every facet and avenue of books and movies and news and things like that. Aliens are something that are constantly on our mind. I believe there's reason for that because I do believe in the concept of aliens, right? What else we got here? Let me jump back in the chat here. Mary Cronin says deep underground military bunkers. Yes. So there are many stories that do talk about aliens that are housed, we'll say, deep underground in military bases. Jason Polzin says, Jay, how are you? I'm okay. I'm all right. My car was parked and hit by a retarded idiot today. I don't know how you hit a parked car, but that happened to me today, so that was crazy. Other than that, it's cool. It snowed today. I took my son sledding and stuff. It was a good day. What's up, Sojio? Good to see you. All right, we're talking about aliens. Let's see. We had the Peru sighting, right? There was, and the video is always so bad, right? With these alleged aliens. It's like Bigfoot videos for the most part. There's some good Bigfoot videos, or at least they're getting better. But the Peru alien, everybody, like all over TikTok, they're like, oh, look at this video. It proves aliens. Look, it's right there in the forest. Look at all the Peruvians freaking out, right? And it was like the most grainy, distorted, blurry, terrible. I could see nothing. And I wanted to see something. I wanted there to be a damn alien. I wanted to check it out or whatever, but nah. I saw no alien. I saw a bunch of people freaking out. Sometimes we see lights like this one right here behind me, right? That's a light. That's a light in the sky. That does not mean to me, oh man, it's advanced technology. That's a physical craft that was flown here from another world, and they have all this technology. That seems like a hop, skip, and a jump too far for me to go based off of that. You know what I mean? To me, the first thing I'm thinking of is that's Mother Nature, that's plasma, that's electricity in the sky manifesting and, following the electrical currents in the air, which I believe happens a lot. And we talked about that a few times too in some of the other videos when we talked about ball lightning and plasma balls and stuff like that too, right? So yeah, we had the Las Vegas one. We had Miami. I don't even know how aliens came into the Miami story. Maybe I haven't researched deep enough into it. I don't know, but it's weird. It's kind of strange. I don't know. But what else we got? Let's see. What other alien sightings? Oh, there was Mexico, right? Let's check this out. I got to check out the Mexico bodies. You want to see some alien bodies? Mummified. Alien bodies in Mexico. Boom. Let's check that out. There you go. There's ET right there. This is allegedly the genuine article. Let's just bring this picture up. I like that one. Okie dokie. So here we have what? Come on. Okay. I got to keep an open mind, This thing's tiny too, right? This alien body is not like a big, tall, giant, lanky alien or anything. This one right here that they like unveiled during some sort of, I don't know, government thing they did in Mexico. They're like, oh, we've got these bodies, and they're like in these professional caskets all laid out. These things are like that big. Like, they're, I mean, I would be more inclined to believe that these were like somehow preserved ancient bodies of, like dwarves or, what are those little dudes that live up towards the North Pole? Not elves, but you know what I'm talking about? What do they call them? What do they call those tiny people? I forgot the name. My mind went blank. I'm on the spot. But anyways, I'd be more inclined to believe this is some sort of a tiny ancient, like, human-related race that was here a long time ago during the legendary times when there was giants and tiny little people as well. And there's many myths and legends about both. Then I would believe that was some sort of, alien that landed here or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't look convincing to me. It looks like it's made out of sand. I don't know how else to explain that. It looks like a sand sculpture. Alien Guru says, you're amazing. Finally, you're showing us aliens. Yes. Okay. Well, I don't know if, I'm not. Thank you. I super appreciate it. Yes. Finally, we're talking about aliens. I talk about aliens, as well. I've got many videos on aliens. You have to go back a ways because we haven't really talked about aliens in a long time. Screen name 229. What's up? Says Jay. They clarified at the hearing. Is definitely not ETs, but it is terrestrial. Yeah, I'd be more inclined to believe that these were, that these are possibly like real actual beings, but there's no evidence for me to believe that looks like a sand sculpture. There's no evidence for me to even jump that far to believe that these were on some sort of metallic flying saucer ship or whatever, right? Prisma Lunar says, Jay, I believe we're being replaced in the movie Us. Something interesting underground is going on. I haven't seen that one yet. I've been meaning to check out that movie. But yes, I believe many people will be replaced, actually, by visitors from other worlds, from other realms, I should say, from other places. Even those from underground and those from above. Many people are going to not make it. They're not going to make it during the apocalypse. Many, many, many people. And they'll be replaced by those who come in during the apocalypse, the visitors, the newcomers, the new people, however you want to describe them, and that they will replace the current population, and that we will have to, deal with that, however we deal with that, good or bad or whatever. Let's see, Linda's in the chat and says, I wonder if they're referring to the Nephilim as aliens in Miami. Possibly, could be, I don't know. Nephilim are supposed to be pretty big. Alien Guru also just donated in the chat. Hold on, let me get back up here to Alien Guru. Where are you? I don't see you. Where are you? Or was it? I missed it. I was talking too much. Well, thank you, Alien Guru. I don't see your. Oh, there you are. Oh, it was the old It was the old one. Okay, cool. Let me put that back up. All right, sweet. So, if you have any comments about the topic, pygmies, NJ Jeep Girl, thank you so much. Yes, pygmies. I'd be more inclined to believe that was a pygmy or a fucking Oompa Loompa, excuse my language, or sand sculpture, than it is an alien. It's not super convincing looking to me at all. But I'm just saying that's just the first judgment off the top. Like, initial impression. I don't know I'm not super deep into it. I don't know, but I'm just saying inside I'm going, no, you know what I mean? All right, let's see. Let me jump back in the chat. We got Chipachu. Oh, homunculus. Yeah, that's a good one. That's not the word I was looking for, but we do talk about the homunculus. I have a homunculus theory, actually, which I posted on my website, too. So you can check out my theory on the homunculus in the section of my website called the Fractalverse. So check that out if you like to. It's pretty detailed. Inuit, yeah, well, I don't know if this would be the body of an Inuit. Inuit are typically way bigger than this, right? Inuit are typically shorter. I'm like 6'2", 6'3" with shoes. This thing's like 18 inches. This is 1 cubit. All right, let's see what else we got. Doctor Who is in the chat. Maniel says, JayDreamerZ, pygmies, or the natives call them the little people too. Yes, yes. So let's see, we talked about these Mexican body aliens, right? And I'm not here to slam on it and say like, oh, look, it's all fake, you know, aliens don't exist or whatever. That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is there is a reality behind whatever may be fake or whatever people may be interpreting like that as crafts or visitors from other places. This is because, I'm going to leave it here for a second. This is because I believe in something called the collective subconscious, right? Or subconscious. Or subconscious, either way. The collective subconscious is something that we all share and resonate with. It's a subconscious knowing or remembering of what I call spirit memory, or memory from past lives, or even a reverberating echo of history that sort of waves through our world and wakes up certain parts of our minds about things that we have forgotten about, which I call ancient oblivion, which is the ancient ways, the ancient world that was once commonplace and common knowledge, but has all but been lost because we stopped focusing on it. We stopped practicing. We detached ourselves from Mother Earth, and we've become numb and distracted to the point where we forgot our origins. Let's see. We got Think Right says, spread the love. $5 in the super chat. Super appreciate you. Thank you so much. That was very kind of you. What's up? Not really here. Good to see you, as always. Ama In says, Jay, have you seen the Skinny Bob video? No. That sounds weird. I don't even know what that is. Let me see. Let me Google it real quick. I hope it's not too weird. Skinny Bob. Oh, is this? Oh, yeah. This is Skinny Bob right here? Hold on. Let me show you guys this little Skinny Bob, dude. Okay. Think Right. Thank you so much again. So I guess this right here is supposed to be Skinny Bob. This is one of the, I have seen this video actually. I can't remember when. It's a pretty damn good video as far as like, you know, I can't tell if it's real or fake or not. But like I said, just like when we talk about our omens, right? Whenever I show you guys the omens that are being shared with me from around the world of strange, anomalous activity around the world that harkens to and acts as a harbinger of the apocalypse to come on the way, right? Some of those videos, they might not be 100% totally real. I don't know. I haven't, you know, double checked to verify I wasn't there, etc., right? They can be faked, but there's something to it whenever something's faked over and over and over and over, or talked about over and over and over and over, or is a main theme or subject over and over and over. And I believe that it stems back to our collective subconscious. Our collective subconscious is us remembering visitors, us remembering the time whenever beings could come into this world. I don't believe they can right now. I don't see any evidence that they can actually get past the firmament or come up from, you know, the depths of the hollow recesses of our world. You notice how I say hollow recesses of our world instead of, right, other terminology? Right, that's purposeful on my part. Anyways, excuse me. All right, yes, I have seen the Skinny Bob video. I like it, actually. It's a good one. Man, excuse me. What's my take on breakaway civilizations? For example, the moon Nazis. I'm not sure. My take on it? Breakaway civilizations? I'm not sure exactly what that is, honestly. I haven't really heard that term, but I will say, as far as like that particular group and the moon, etc., you know already, right? That I believe that there is a physical thing up there that's a part of our firmament that is the actual moon, right? And that the light in the moon, I mean, the light that we call the moon is just a luminary, it's just a light in the sky. So I believe that group did study, or at least their leaders or the people that sent them out on various crazy expeditions, that they did have access to information, that they were constantly studying otherworldly humanoids, I'll call them, right? And they had their own unique names for them, basically calling them things like supermen, right? And they knew there was a connection between these supermen and the moon, the real one, the real moon above, right? Which is actually connected to Antarctica, which is off to the sides because it's a part of the dome. That's how I see it, right? So yes, I think there's a connection there. All right, let's see what else we got here in the chat. We got hold on, let me see here. Little Wing's in the chat. Little Wing 619 says, greetings from Manchester, England, Jay and friends. Well, greetings to you over in England and everyone else in the other countries. Screen name 229 says, Jamie Mousson behind the mummies is a known hoaxer and doesn't do the proper homework before pushing stories. That may be. That very well may be. I'm not really the type of person. I hear you. I do. I hear, you know, if people are so quick to be like, oh, it's a hoax. Oh, it's all fake, blah, blah, blah. And then they just label it all fake. You know what I mean? Because of one photoshopped image or doctored video or whatever. Ooh, not me. Not me at all. Even if it is complete garbage and BS, even if there's a story that's just totally made up, like Skinny Bob right here, if he was not real and it's just some guy wearing a little costume or whatever, I would add that to all of the other instances, we'll call them, right? Just like if I was in court and I was putting together, you know, instances of evidence, and one little instance on its own is nothing, really. It's nothing that has much weight, like actual weight. But when you put instance upon instance upon instance, it starts building weight, right? You know what I mean? So I believe that it's all connected to our memories that we have, our spirit memory of the time when the visitors did come. Just like somebody said earlier about the Nephilim, right? The Nephilim is a clear example. Like, it blows my mind that anyone that believes in the Bible literally cannot believe in aliens, because it straight up tells you, like, they fell down from the sky. They came down from the heavens, not blinked into existence from some other dimension or whatever. They came down from, quote unquote, space, from other realms. You know what I mean? In regards to like the Nephilim, etc. All right, cool. Let me jump back in the chat here. What else did we have? If I skip you, by the way, it's not on purpose. Prisma Lunar says, Jay, aliens are interdimensional, which means we humans are not able to see them. Okay, I got you. That makes sense, right? I believe in many different dimensions. Me personally, when I talk about dimensions, I lean towards size. You know what I mean? As like dimension, like actual dimensions of up and down and axes and stuff like that. So for example, like if I vibrate my hand, I've used this example many times, right? If I vibrate my hand, or I have a remote control right here, boom. So let's use the remote control. Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Let's use the remote control, for example, right? If I just start vibrating it, it will disappear. Now, is it in another dimension? You know what I mean? Or is it right here in my hand? It's just moving so fast I can't see it or whatever. I get you though. And I like the idea of like other dimensions and stuff like that, and aliens like visiting or whatever. But then that raises so many questions for me personally that I have to ask the implications of just beings, you know what I mean, coexisting. And then I have to figure out why they're not just blinking in and out of existence. That gets into ghosts and other things too. But I hear what you're saying. All right, let's see what else we got here in the chat. Mad Dog the Maddox says, yo, Jay, so happy to be here. Good vibes. Good vibes right back to you. Ama In says, Skinny Bob is from the Roswell incident. Okay, right on. Like I said, to me personally, it matters not. He could be the alien at the mall in Florida. To me, it's all of these things collectively that we're tuning into, that we're focusing in on, and there's substance to it. It comes from somewhere. It's not just like we just fantasized and made up the concept of aliens just to entertain ourselves. Now, many people will believe that. I'm not one. You know what I mean? I believe that there is a reality to the stories, regardless of if they're true or not. What was some other alien stuff? We had Peru, we had Mexico bodies that were, oh, the whistleblower too. The whistleblower is talking about how like the government's working with aliens and stuff. And that's also something that I do see a lot of evidence for the humans that we're used to, you know, people we would consider to be humans working with extraterrestrials or whatnot. Let's check out that whistleblower, right? Alien whistleblower. Boom. I guess that'll work. Let's see what images it brings up here. This guy. Yes, definitely this guy. So this guy was pretty adamant. For me, it's kind of weird whenever you see people's eyebrows raised up this much all the time. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's a strange body language thing for me personally. But I'm not saying I don't believe this guy at all. I believe that he might be convinced of whatever that he's saying. I can't remember the whole like interview and what he said about working with aliens, but I will tell you this. Actually, let me just segue. Let me segue into sharing with you my idea of what aliens are and where they come from, right? The aliens that are here now, I do believe there are aliens in here with us, or what people would call aliens, right? I believe there's probably much better names, labels, descriptions of various types of quote unquote aliens, right? And that there are many of them that are here in the earth. Insectoid animals, animal-like, human-like, ones that are kind of akin to Bigfoot and things of that nature. Elven, the elven race. I do believe that there are many aliens that are here already. They have no need, in my perspective, from my research and experience, they would not have a need to like zoom through space for light years and be in cryogenic sleep or whatever it is that they, you know, that they promote as the story. They're here already. They've been here the whole time. This is actually shown to you in that movie Phenomenon. Whenever at the very beginning, when John Travolta has the problem of this rabbit that, you know, is keeps coming into his garden, so he builds his walls really high or whatever. It turns out the rabbit was in the garden hiding the entire time. All he had to do is open up the door, and he let that white rabbit out. And the white rabbit symbolism, I believe, is also in reference to aliens. Okay, he let that white rabbit out of his garden, and there is a time when the doors of our garden will open, and the aliens will be allowed to leave, just like you will be allowed to leave. If you have the means and the know-how to get out of here, you may at that time. But I believe that there are aliens here now, many different ones. I believe most of them are hiding, basically, like a lot of the animal types and insectoids and stuff like that. They've just been hiding here for a long time because we used to hunt them. Humans, I'll say, not me, but humans used to hunt aliens, different types of aliens, right? Alien animals, alien creatures, alien bugs, alien humanoids, alien giants, etc. They were hunted. Oftentimes, right? At least according to the myths and legends of times long forgotten. Anyways, and then I believe that there are aliens that live under us, underneath the ground, deep into the earth, that there's whole other worlds down there, and there are alien creatures. Alien just means something you're not used to seeing in your neighborhood, basically, right? And there's a whole bunch of creatures, humanoids, insectoids, devil dog, weird things, phantazoids, I like to call them, flying ones that are going to be released here pretty soon, probably, that will scatter about the whole freaking world. And anyways, they come up from time to time, but the doors have to be opened. The portals must be opened. Right now, everything's closed off. The underworld is closed off. The upper world, or the macrocosm or whatever, the upper world above us, beyond the skyline, beyond the firmament, that's closed off right now. So they can't get out there, okay? Which brings up a question about these space travelers, and are they really traveling through space, etc., or are they just really high up? You know what I mean? I believe they're just really high. I'll just leave it at that. All right. Green-Eyed Crow's in the chat and says, Jay, have you looked into Cabbage Patch Children tied to the mud floods and the repopulation? It's Cabbage Patch Children tied to... Yes. Hold on. Hold on. Let me show you something here real quick. Alrighty, since you brought it up, happy to oblige. Also, I'd like to give a huge shout out to Mind Unveiled, who brought the concept to my attention. You're probably talking about and referencing this, right? This is a book created by Mind Unveiled. Beautiful. And the reason I'm gonna tell you why I'm about to give them why I'm giving them a shout out. Not just because they made a really cool book. Okay, this is all really awesome. Great pictures. It's all about the Cabbage Patch Babies. Let me see if you can see it there. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. You know, you get the point of it. But there's like all these pictures and it's well written and stuff. So yes, I have looked into that. Right. Mainly I didn't so much get the book, you know, because I'm super interested in the topic, even though it is a cool topic and it is interesting, and I do like to read this, you know, in my free time. I got it one because I like to support my local truthers. I don't know if you guys ever have seen me in someone else's chat. Oftentimes I donate, or oftentimes I'm in there, you know, participating and stuff like that. And I'll go buy people's stuff, you know, if they put it out or whatever, and it's they put a lot of effort into it, I'll go buy that if I can afford it. Another thing is that this is how I'm going to be making my next book, or the book that I'm, you know, finishing up right now. Return to Hyperborea. It's going to be much more like this one as far as the aesthetics and all the beautiful pictures and stuff like that than it is my other one, which is packed full of information but has 0 pictures. I know I shouldn't like slam on my own work, but I purposefully, you know, didn't include pictures in the first one, because I wanted to write in such a way. I'll get back to aliens in a second. I wanted to write in such a way that it forced people to see the things that I was describing. It forces people to see it for themselves as they manifest it in their imaginations. Because I feel like that's much better than me just throwing a picture in their face. Although I want to balance it out. And I want to throw pictures in people's faces next time, because there's so much good evidence of Hyperborea. It's also connected to that prior comment too that we had discussed. So yes, I have definitely heard of that. All right, let me jump back into the chat here. If I skipped you, super sorry. Just got to catch up here. Prisma Lunar says the fallen angels really like human girls. I doubt it. I doubt that. I'm sorry, no offense, but man, maybe human girls in the future when they're gigantic and they have their minds about them. You know, I'm not generalizing all women or anything. I'm just saying everybody in this world as it is right now. I don't know about that. Like, you know, I do believe that after the apocalypse, all of us are headed into a golden age, right? Where things will be revealed to us mentally, spiritually, energetically. We'll live much longer. We'll have regenerative abilities, or, you know, properties. Our cellular structure will regenerate, etc. Diseases will be wiped clean. We won't be all toxic and disgusting. But right now, I would not, you know, want to go out on a date with a human if I was, you know, somebody that just came into this world. No. That's just, I mean, that's me. Just being honest. All right. Anyways, let's see what else we got here. Samuel Quinn says, JayDreamerZ, have you seen Aleister Crowley's drawings of demons? They actually look pretty much like today's gray aliens. I don't know. Let's check that out. That sounds interesting. Aleister Crowley demon drawing. Yeah. Let's see what he's got here. Oh, this is it. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I like to use, you know, comparative research. So, for example, this right here, you can notice that something that the aliens typically share when they're described is a big old giant head, right? A big old head. Why do they have big heads? We should pursue that, because that's something that is seen in the legends across the board. They have big old domes. You know what I mean? What's the reason? What could cause a person, a humanoid, we'll say, what could cause me, just me, right? What changes would need to happen to me physically or to my environment in order for me to physically change and adapt and grow a big old dome or head or whatever, right? That's kind of my method of thought when I research. I will also say that they tend to the descriptions of aliens. I got another one here. And there was a really good alien picture. Where did I put that one? Oh yeah, I'm gonna bring this up at the next Omens. I don't want to spoil my next Omens episode. Hold on, let me do aliens. Just aliens, bam. Oh yeah, so some of these I really like. This one right here. And where's one with like a cone head? I'm just gonna type in cone head. Boom, cone head. I know it's gonna bring the movie up. Of course, right? Anyways, that's fine. That's fine, right? Even though this movie, Coneheads, if you haven't seen it, it's a pretty classic movie about aliens from like the early 90s, I think. Here, let me just pull it up. Oh, there's Paul. Oh my God. This is the funniest alien movie I've ever seen. I love this movie. There's not a lot of things that make me laugh in these crazy times we live in. So when I am able to laugh, it's like finding treasure. I don't know how to describe it. Or I suppose I just did. All right, let's just open this up. Coneheads, right? Yeah. Astronauts, to the moon. Or whatever. Right? The Coneheads. That's a terrible picture. What is that? Really? Let's do this one right here. So this is actually from Saturday Night Live. All right, cool. So let's talk about this, right? The reason that they came up with this skit called Coneheads or whatever about these aliens, and the reason they made them look this way is because real aliens, humanoids, at least some branch of them, right, that come from somewhere. I'm sure there's many different realms out there. However, I also believe we live in a fractal verse where everything repeats itself over and over and over, and code is not wasted, that it's recycled and reused over and over and over. So there's different types of aliens, but they tend to, be the same types of aliens across the fractal verse everywhere. But they all have, many of them are drawn as having elongated skulls, right? They might be big heads. I don't know. They might be long ones, whatever. Regardless, their skulls are bigger than ours. Their heads are bigger than ours. And if you can imagine this guy right here. Also, check this out. See how he's wearing like a big old popped collar, right? There's truth in all of this. They're joking around, but they're feeding you truth. Okay? The truth is said in jest often, or best said in jest often, right? The truth is hidden to the sightless and the blind in metaphor and story and jokes and things of that nature, right? Anyways, so imagine these people right here wearing a hat, wearing something to cover up their head. They're covering up their necks. Let me make it real big. Hold up. You see her covering up her neck? She's covering up her neck like that. This is what vampires do, okay? This is what the elves do, or commonly depicted, right? This is what many different fantastic races of beings do. When they come down from the skies, they have an aversion to light. Light from the sun or a focal point burns their skin. They have photophobia. So they carry umbrellas around with them. They dress in very gaudy, long sleeve stuff, long pants and stuff like that. They cover up their necks because they don't want the sunlight to hit them. And typically, they would wear cloaks or hoodies or hats that would need to fit a big old dome like that, which meant that they would, that gives rise to, for example, let me type in wizard hat. Boom. I mean, I'm sure everyone already knows you can imagine what a wizard's hat looks like. This is why a wizard's hat looks like that. This is why a witch's hat looks like this. Because these are witches. I've lost the picture. How anticlimactic. Where'd they go? Yeah, that's the same thing, whatever, right? Hold on, I'm pulling up too many tabs. Man, I don't know where I put that. It's the same one. Boom. All right, these are witches, okay? These are wizards in comparison. If they have, imagine let's just suppose that a bigger head implies a bigger brain, which implies more intelligence. That doesn't have to be the way it is, okay? But let's just suppose that that's true, right? They would be wizards. They would be witches. And if they lived for hundreds or thousands of years, as many legends indicate, right? Specifically in regards to like the elven race, vampires, stuff like that, which these people represent, they would have accumulated from experience alone more than we know on average, right? Like infinitely more than we know on average, because on average, people know nothing these days. or at least that's kind of how it comes across to me. But anyways, this is why they wear these, right? The ancient ones needed to have Phrygian caps. They needed to have huge hoods to throw over their big old domes, right? And they were intelligent. Let's pull up another good example, the dunce cap. Dunce hat? I don't know what it's called. Dunce cap. All right, cool. So you may have seen something similar to this in in yesteryear, okay, back in the black and white days or whatever, right? The bad kid, or not the bad kid. It was more used for kids that were getting the answers wrong, okay? It wasn't used at first to humiliate somebody or whatnot. It had nothing to do with them acting up, really. It had to do with them being dumb or being unintelligent, and they weren't getting it. So what they would do is they knew that the wizards, the smart people, the wise, wore hats like that. And they would put a wizard's hat on a person in the hopes that it would somehow improve their brain, their ability to think. They didn't put this on because, this just represents an idiot. You know what I mean? Idiots don't wear this. Geniuses wear that. Or genius entities in comparison to us on average. They wore these types of things. This was their style of dress. They didn't wear that because it made them smarter. They just wore that because that was their hat. Like they wore that to cover their head, keep it from burning, in the sun or whatever. Right? All right, let me jump back into the chat here. I've been kind of going off on a tangent. So yes, aliens I do believe exist. I don't believe they can get here right now. They might be able to come to the sky or a firmament, but they will stop harsh, put on the brakes, and they have to wait for the door to open. Right? Just like Cthulhu up there, who's just waiting, and all the different waiting gods or meditating gods, which brings us to the next form of aliens, which is things that are sort of misrepresented as aliens, I would say, right? Sorry, I'm not in the chat right now. Things that are sort of misrepresented as aliens, for example, plasma, right? The beams of plasma that shoot up into the sky and branch out, just like I talk about, right? Every other cycle. You can't see them now. Occasionally, they're starting to make their appearance, right? We're catching sight of them, right? With all the gases being released from the Earth, leading up to the depressurization of the atmosphere. Man, I'm so sorry about that. But see, people will see lights in the sky. So let's say there's a beam of plasma, it shoots up, terrestrial energy that shoots up and erupts from the Earth, right? Shoots up in the sky, starts off as a straight line or a beam. People don't know what it is. Some people, right? Those who don't know what it is, make up a story for it. They have to guess what it is. What does it look like to you or whatever? And as those beams of light branch out at the top, they create arms, right? As they spread out at the bottom, they might look like legs or something. And the people start to tell stories about aliens, which are things they're not used to seeing or familiar with, right? And those become incorporated into all the other alien stories, sort of diluting the waters, so to speak. You know what I mean? Which makes it a little bit more difficult to put your finger on the specific subject of physical, actual humanoid beings that are not from our realm, right? That they are our sky brothers or sisters or whatever. They are our neighbors, our space neighbors, fractalverse travelers is what I like to call them, right? At least those ones that purposefully arrive in ships, which I do believe they will. Just like NASA and Elon, they'll leave in ships. They're going to be gone. Aloha slot cars, Hawaii. Hey, how cool. Those are 3 things I like. Slot cars, Hawaii, and aloha. All right, anyways. Let me get out of this little deal here. Let's go back to some alien pictures. Where's a good alien picture? Let me go back to aliens. Alien wallpaper will do. I didn't have a whole lot of images all prepared or whatever. Let's do whip it. Oh, even the classic Alien, right? From the movie Aliens. See? They're terrible. Tiny pictures, man. Look at that big old dome on this bad boy, right? Now, it's interesting they make these ones black because I don't believe they are. But that might be related to the whole black goo thing, and that takes us down a different rabbit hole. So I digress. Let me get back in the chat. All right, we got, let's see. Above Majestic is a must watch. Oh, I've never heard of that one. It sounds interesting. So sounds, I mean, a Majestic sometimes is tied into the Majestic 12. Is that what they're called, right? And secret top men of the government or whatever. The Dunce Cap were brutal. Okay, interesting. Let's see what else we got. Anything else in the chat? Sorry, I don't like stay in the chat and stuff. What's up, Nikki Baxter? Good to see you. Ozzy Gold, I see you in the chat. Jehudim says Phonasia was a good movie. Interesting. Okay. All right, I'm gonna jump back into my little train of thought here. Oh, there's actually some comments here. What's up, Doctor Who? Good to see you. Jay, pull up the alien in the sewer that looks like a reptilian. Okay, I'll try that. Let's try it out. Alien in the sewer. Looks like a reptilian. I have no idea what it's about to pull up. There's a bunch, actually. Oh, you know what? This makes sense. Like off the top of my head, it makes sense. It goes back to the whole alligators in the sewer, right? Like myths about in New York City, they say there's alligators that, live in the sewers or whatever, which there very well may be. But this also reminds me of Spider-Man and that one reptilian bad guy. I forgot his name. Man, I forgot that dude's name. Anyways, this bad guy that's basically an alligator or a lizard person or whatever. And I think he was in the sewers too, right? The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that also kind of harkens to that. This is all symbolic of the aliens who we're not used to seeing that live underground. I feel like there's a lot of evidence. I've come across evidence that's compelling to me that suggests that there are these different races of humanoids that get cut off from different environments. And so they adapt to those environments. And over time, they look alien to one another, although they're totally related to each other, right? Whether they know it or not. This is portrayed to us in the movie Time Machine as well, right? Based on the book by H.G. Wells. Oh, my thoughts on the chupacabra. Chupacabra. I like saying that word. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of thoughts on it. To me, a chupacabra sighting is kind of up there with like cryptids and phantazoids, basically. So for me, a chupacabra would fall under the class of phantazoid, right? I haven't studied the chupacabra enough, honestly, to like give you a solid theory on it at the moment. But to me, it seems like it's a phantazoid, which is an otherworldly type of alien creature that comes into our world. And it's not native to our world, that it is alien, basically, okay? I like the word phantazoid much better because it's mysterious. People don't know what it is. Aliens, when you say aliens, people kind of know what that is. That's this, all right? You know what I mean? People are like, oh yeah, I know what aliens are. Phantazoids are things you don't know what they are. You know what I mean? Like when phantazoids enter this realm, if they don't look like your typical big-headed, skinny little aliens with huge eyeballs or whatever, they're not going to know what to call that, what that even is. It will be a monster. They'll use words like monsters and creatures and, cryptids and stuff like that. But they're phantazoids to me. So the chupacabra is like a type of phantazoid. All right, what else we got here? Campbell Diana says, hey Jay, I'm your new sub. Hey, welcome Campbell Diana. Thanks for subscribing. That's cool. Welcome all 414 people. All right, so let me get back to the subject. Super 90s. All right, hold on. So my point is there are all of these sightings, alleged sightings, that are popping up all over the place, right? Not only are people seeing or reporting sightings of alien creatures at malls and in Las Vegas and in the forests and in different places, right? All these different alien creatures, people are seeing monsters, just like how we just referred to, the chupacabra and stuff like that. More and more monsters, skinwalkers. I'm trying to think of like the more popular ones these days. A lot of creepypasta stems from the phantazoids as well. There will come a time, according to every religion I've studied that I can think of off the top of my head, there will come a time, or no, let me go back. There was already a time when our world was inundated and flooded with what we would call monsters and aliens. as well as zombies and all kinds of other weird stuff. Our world was so fantastic compared to today's boring, mundane, bland, tasteless, upside down, and psychotic, crazy modern world that we live in. The world was a magic world. It was the things of fantasy and fiction. And that is our inspiration that we tap into when we see something and our collective subconscious clicks on and a wave of remembrance passes over us and we go, that reminds me. That reminds me of visitors from other worlds. Does that mean it is? No, it doesn't. But it's a reminder that that's a reality. You know what I mean? All right, let me jump back in the chat here. Let's see. We got Ama in who says, Jay, there's an upsurge of people reporting paranormal activity. Yes, I totally agree. So this is why I love talking about the plasma apocalypse for so many reasons. So many. I can't wait. Is because it's everything. It's got everything. It is the great mixing bowl. It's when everything happens. Okay. Zombies show up. Okay, it's the day of the dead. It's the day of reckoning. It's judgment day. It's the day of rising from the grave or whatever. It's resurrection day, etc. Okay, so zombies, paranormal activity, ghosts. All the Ghostbusters movies are based on reality, right? Or I mean, I say right a lot. Sorry, doesn't mean it is right. I'm just saying you get my meaning, right? All right. Yeah. So when there's an influx of electromagnetic activity, you're going to see more and more electromagnetic activity, right? And it doesn't always have to be invisible. The more focused it is, the more power that it has, the more it manifests physically so we can see it on our dimensional level, some might say, right? Yeah, so ghosts, aliens, monsters, giants are going to return. And on top of that, a lot of these stories, right? For example, this one right here, the Miami one. I heard through the grapevine that somebody saw a giant alien. I also heard that the Las Vegas alien was supposedly a giant alien, right? I know that we have the concept of quote unquote little green men, and I believe that there's something to that as well, because there's alien humanoids that are tinier than us, really small, but there's huge ones as well, right? It's a fractalverse. There's all different sizes. But I have found that the ones that come down from above are always giant, always gigantic in comparison to us because we're shrinking. We live in an incredible shrinking world. The pressure is building and building and building on all sides as our oxygen supply dwindles. It's actually increasing during these last times. I don't know if you knew that or not, but there's more oxygen being released at this particular moment because of all these gases that are being released and the oxygen is being burned out of the oceans and stuff, so to speak. But that's why they're gigantic. That's why these reports, they connect that to an ancient truth, that they know that there are these beings, the Nephilim or the fallen ones, right? Or the ones who fell down. And fallen doesn't mean like tripped and fell, like they were flying down and reached terminal velocity and, somehow bounced up and survived or anything like that. Okay. It doesn't mean they were thrown physically or anything. It just means they came down. They fell down. They descended. You could call them the descended ones, right? Some people might equate that with evil. I don't. I could see how, and I could see why, and I get that. But I believe that there's balance everywhere, in all aspects, in all races, and all people, and all animals, and everything. There's always balance. All right, let's see. So yeah, the ones that come from above typically are gigantic. The ones that come from below are also usually pretty big. Maybe even also gigantic, just like the ones above. And that lies in their environment. Where are they coming from, right? Like I said earlier, what things need to change so that I adapt and start growing bigger and bigger and bigger? What things would add to and contribute to gigantic growth, comparatively speaking to what we call normal today, right? We can figure that out. We can reverse engineer that. I'm just checking the chat real quick. Oh man, I missed a bunch. Sorry. Kimberly, thanks for helping out. Lyric's in the chat. Lyric says, Jay, we had a dogman creature in Circleville, broke a giant barn door into pieces and carried a full-grown horse into the creek after jumping over a 5-foot fence before grossly mutilating it. Cool. Let's talk about dogman. I love that one. Boom, dogmen, aliens. Let's see what they got. All right, cool. They're talking about the dogman. Now, there's many different quote-unquote species of aliens, okay? Many different kinds. They are often cartoonified to an extreme degree, right? So, for example, the Wolfman, right behind me here, that's a dogman, okay? There are good historic records of dogmen existing. People drew pictures of them. I've shared them here on my channel many times, right? That there are dog people. I'm not saying they are dogs. That would be just like calling saying that they're reptilians, right? That they're lizard people. They're not lizard people. This is my opinion, okay? But I have not come across evidence to suggest that lizards that crawl down on the ground in desert places or whatever somehow over time started walking and, you know, looking like us because we're just the epitome of what perfection looks like. I don't buy that. So I think I decided a long time ago when I was looking into silica-based beings that they're not lizard people. That's kind of a derogatory term, I would say, in the alien world. I'm sure it's accepted, you know. I've seen it all the time. Lizard people, oh, reptilians, etc. I don't think they are. I've never come across anything to indicate that they interbred with lizards. You know what I mean? Or reptilians or anything, or that they are reptilians, you know, at their core. I'm sure a lot of people are like, oh, blasphemy. But it's not. It's just me being honest, you know what I mean? So anyways, let me get back to the core. I'm getting distracted by myself. So dogman, boom. I have a theory about that, right? I actually have a really good video. Let me play my video for you. I'm going to show you my theory about dogman. Let's go to YouTube. Whip it. Time to wake up, time to wake up. You guys can see what I've been listening to lately. I love putting, it's such a weird mix. Like when I'm chilling at my house, like, you know, if I just want something in the background, because I hate it when it's like dead silent, because then I start hearing the ringing in my ears and stuff, I'll put on some jazz fireplace or whatever. If I'm like more hyped up and stuff, I'll put on some like retro synthwave, you know, GTA 5 sounding soundtrack or whatever. If I'm cleaning up and I'm all pumped up and I'm thinking about like the ancient past or whatever, I put on old Norse sounding music, or I don't know, pagan Norse type music or whatever. Shout out to Gamma Gold Obsidian too. He's been making some videos. I actually put him into my my community playlist, and I resonate with the dude. He reminds me of me when I just started on YouTube. I love that. And it's cool because ever since I subscribed to him, YouTube has started recommending more homegrown channels to me, which I like too. So big shout out to you, buddy. What else was I doing here? I just forgot why I came out. Oh yeah. Let me go to, let's go to JayDreamerZ. What did I call that video? Elf Wolf. I don't know what I called it. Damn. All right. Scooby-Doo. Let's see. Damn. Oh, let's just go to my channel. What am I doing? My channel. Oh, hey, we're live. Check it out. Hey, everyone. This is so fun. It's so meta. All right. Now, it's in my shorts. I know that. Where are my shorts? Is it not shorts? It's not shorts. It's like my short videos. Do I have that playlist? Breadcrumbs. Here it is. All right, breadcrumbs. So if you're unfamiliar with my channel, let me just give you a little walkthrough real quick. This is my banner. I make it all myself. I've been doing it all myself. I don't have a team or any, you know, studio or anything fun like that. This is Truth in Movies. So every once a week, usually, we break down a movie, start to finish, right? I get deep into the symbolism, okay? Last one we did was the Langoliers. I have been, you know, doing this whole Stranger Things, the first episode or the first season of Stranger Things. This one is super popular. You could tell because everybody was breaking that bad boy down. Plasma Apocalypse playlist. So this is all about the Plasma Apocalypse, everything that has to do with it. And this is more advanced stuff too. So if you're more familiar with the basic tenets and concepts. Omens. Here's my omens, right? We always talk about the omens that we're noticing worldwide. Ancient Oblivion. This has everything to do with things that I believe that we have forgotten collectively about our ancient history, our past, who we are, our origins, etc. So here is where you're more likely to find things about aliens and ancient history and stuff like that. You can learn Phoenician right here behind me if you want to. I can teach you the Phoenician alphabet. Random topic. Where the hell was I going? I'm so sorry. My mind's all over the place. I'm going to try to find that video, but I can't remember where I put it. Does anybody have a link to my own work? Does anybody in the chat remember what I called that damn video? It's the Elven aging. That's what it was, right? Well, let me do. Elven aging. We're talking about dogmen. There it is. Oh, man. Okay, so let me bust out this video real quick. Hold on. All right, it's just a little intro, right? So, in regards to dogmen, okay, let's take your concept, your original concept of an elf, okay? These are the gods. This is what they looked like when they were young. They just look very human, like baby humans or whatever. But as they grow older, because they're immortal, or they are in comparison, their ears don't stop. Their ears, just like yours, continue to grow and grow and grow. Their noses don't stop. They get bigger and bigger, right? And then they start, I hope the audio is okay. Last time it was too loud. I don't think anyone can hear this. I'm just going to mute that. Anyways, as they get older, they start to grow horns. You would grow horns. If you could live to be 300 years old, I don't know, maybe in today's world with the conditions, the atmospheric conditions, the way they are today, I'm sure you'd grow horns and a tail if you could live to be 300 years old. But we're super young. We only have one stage of puberty for the most part that we go through. That's not the norm. When you live for a very long time, when you live for an extended amount of time, then there's many cycles of puberty. There's different stages of puberty. You know, when you live to be 1,000 years old, you're going to go through different stages of puberty, right? I believe that the quote-unquote elven race, I don't know what that is, let's gather. I believe that the quote-unquote elven race goes through this, right? I'll show you, again, I'm going to play it real quick. This is an elf. Let's say that this dude right here just descended from above. He's one of the Nephilim or the fallen ones. He would be much bigger, right? But this is how they look. I'm pausing now. Hold on. So let me rewind that a bit. Let me explain this. This is directly related to dogmen, okay? Because I believe that the quote-unquote dogmen are elves, or of what I call the elven race. They're basically aliens, okay? Who live for hundreds and hundreds of years. They way outlive us, which is why they can survive. They know the world like the back of their hands. You know, many of them who've just been winging it, living on their own, right? Anyways, my point is, this is what an elf looks like to begin with. This is what an alien, you know, we'll use this, we'll say that's an alien, like Spock, okay? This is an alien, but it's young. This guy right here could be like 250 years old, and he'd be a baby, right? As it says in the Bible that people are considered babies up to 100, right? In the world to come. He would be a baby. So then they go, their ears continue to grow. They don't get facial hair or anything, and they put these ones in charge. So this becomes our elven or godlike standard of beauty. Clean shaven, you know, that's why when you go in the military, they really force that upon people. Or not so much these days because we're in flux, but back in the 80s and 90s, it was like, you know, you were basically seen as a homeless weirdo if you had a beard, or, you know, like, or if you had a piercing or a tattoo or whatever. But anyways, this is the standard of beauty. It's the elven or alien standard of beauty. The word alien comes from 3 words. El, or Al, which means mighty one, commonly translated as God. And then E, or I, which means possessive form. It means my, or me, from myself, mine, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And then On, which means of thee. So these are of the gods. These are children of the gods. These are the offspring of the gods. These are people who are related to the quote-unquote gods, not actual God, you know what I mean? But aliens, basically. Like otherworldly beings that came down, extremely powerful, extremely large, extremely intelligent, right? They were called the mighty ones, or the gods. So anyways, this is a young one, right? But they grow. They slowly grow. When they get into this world, their aging process seems to almost, you know, stop. I wouldn't say it actually stops. I'm not talking about how time affects them or anything like that. I'm talking about the breakdown of their cellular structure that develop wrinkles and gray hair and, you know, backs curving and all the messed up stuff that it does in this world under a closed system, right? As the pressure builds up over time and we lose, you know, we lose life-giving properties that we need. We use up our resources and stuff like that. And the earth just naturally uses it up as well. But anyway, let me get back to my point here. We're talking about aliens. Somehow I'm about to connect this to Dogman. I already know. I'm sorry. All right. So anyways, this guy goes through an aging process, right? He goes through another 100, 200, I don't know how long, maybe let's say 500 years. They start to grow. Their bones will start to coalesce in certain areas and they'll grow horns, right? I've shown this many times. Humans grow horns. Okay, there's many examples. Typically, it doesn't happen until they get really old, like 90, 100 years old. They just start to grow out little nubs. In the world we live in, the horns look pretty ugly and deformed and messed up because we live under what seems to be conditions of exponentially increasing entropy in this world, or the breakdown of our cellular structure and other things too, right? The energy that's being lost, etc. So anyways, they start growing horns. That's another part of their puberty cycle, right? I don't know so much about like scales and stuff like that, but that was just a part of the image. Now, you have to imagine, let's say they get up there in age, right? 900 years maybe, I don't know, I'm just throwing numbers out there, but really old in their timeline, not ours, right? We're babies compared to them. We're actually seen as babies. Like, they think we're babies, right? I also think that too. Anyways, you could tell when they start, when they do come down into this world, because that's where you age. Okay, when the pressure is released, right? Those of us who are under exponential entropy, we will feel like aging has reversed, right? It really hasn't. It's just that it's slowed down so much, and there's regeneration and stuff like that. But you continue living and accumulating years and stuff like that too. Anyways, my point is they start getting ugly just like we do, okay? They start getting, their body does eventually start to break down when they're down in this world. They still live for a very long time because they're used to that. That's in their DNA. That's in their genes. They go through a final stage, right? Remember, their ears continue to grow. So you see the wolfman or dogman, you're going to see huge ears and stuff like that. Oftentimes, they will actually have horns as well. Right? Sometimes they show them with horns, sometimes without. But as we see in, if the movies are indicative of any ancient truths that we may have forgotten, in Hellboy, he just shaves them right off. He doesn't like his horns, He figures that they're ugly, right? Because it's just his personal preference. They can shave them off. These humans today that have horns, shave them off. Babies that are born with tails, the doctors will cut them off, right? It's just a standard of beauty. And beauty was very important to them, to the aliens that came down a long time ago. You can call them the Anunnaki, you could call them the Nephilim, etc. But the ancient stories that I've gone over and read over and poured over time and time again, these alien creatures are constantly talking about beauty being so important to them, right? There was even like two different classes or families of aliens that fought amongst each other. One was known as being the beautiful ones. They were called the Vanir. They were beautiful. They were beautiful to behold. They were probably younger, right? And then you have the older class that's gone through puberty and growing hair all over the place, you know what I mean? And then they're starting to look like dog people, basically. I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent on the dog people thing. Let me get back in the chat. All right, anyways, check that video out if you'd like to. So there's all kinds of species of aliens. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're genetically totally different or anything, but we just have to open our mind to different conditions, right? That could change a body and make it appear extremely different or another species or alien to us or whatever, right? That's so many funny alien ones. Like here's a clear bug one, right? There's the bugs, there's the animals, the devil dogs. This is like a cute version of a devil dog. This Men in Black dude, this one right here, there are dog-like aliens that are actually interterrestrial. The dog ones, I believe, come up from inside of the earth, as well as certain like species of flying ones and stuff like that. Those ones are spoken of in Revelation. They come up out of the bottomless pit, which is basically Mount Meru. But these dog ones, yeah, not that. No, that's a dog. You know what I mean? That's not a dog alien. That's a dog. There are dog aliens. They're hellhounds. They're devil dogs. I mean, I can't remember all the different names for them, but they're portrayed in the movies all the time. They have a dog-like sort of appearance. They usually walk on all fours, etc. They might not look exactly like dogs, but that might be the actual ancient origin of dogs. On top of that, right, we've got animal aliens. Let's see. What's a good one? How about the white buffalo? White buffalo sky prophecy. Is that right? Let me check it out. Well, anyways, there's these many different prophecies that different cultures have about animals that originate from the sky or space or heaven, right? And they came down into our world and they came from above and they were all white, right? There's all of these holy or heavenly animal creatures are always white. Jesus comes back on a horse. How the hell? Like, how do you even ride a horse down from space? You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, this is how I'm imagining. I'm just on the physical realm, right? I'm not imagining that Jesus is just a magician that just can fly and he can just put pixie dust on his horse and it can fly or whatever. I get that, but for me, that's like a cartoonified version of the truth, right? In reality, the world depressurizes, right? That pressure needs to go back to reach its equilibrium, allowing the things that were floating up due to increased buoyancy to float right back down. It doesn't just turn off. You know what I mean? It's not like buoyancy is just restored the way that it is today, and it's not. It slowly is restored. So anything that is above our world when the sky opens up can fall down into our world and safely land. Or do the traditional superhero, landing or whatever. Like, that's why animals can fall from space and not die. Or giants can fall from the heavens and not die and smash into the ground. You know what I mean? Because one, they're going to weigh almost nothing. Like, they're just floating down as they come down from the sky or whatever. But anyways, there's many ancient prophecies. I like I'm partial to the Native American prophecies and stories that talk about the origin of where the animals came from. If you read them, they say they came from the sky, right? Or they came up from inside of the earth, right? But that's where they come from. And many people would just dismiss that and they'd be like, oh, what it means to me on the inside symbolically is like animals are like, they have like higher spirits, and they'll just get very out there with it, which I appreciate that. And there's truth to that. But I also believe in the actual physical, meaning that they said they came from the sky, so they came from the sky. You know what I mean? And there's ways that that's possible. All right, let me jump off my high horse. Ama says, Jay, whales came from the sky. I do believe they did, actually. That's what I heard, yes. I've got a really good video about that one, too. It's one of my fantazoids. So if you type in the search bar on my thing and just type in fantazoid, it probably will pop up. But yes, I do believe that dolphins, probably whales, probably many different types of creatures actually came down from above, that they're alien, basically. Or we would consider them to be. They're not alien now because we're just used to them, right? Well, you're used to giraffes. You're used to rhinoceroses. You're used to hippos. You're used to buffaloes and whales and dolphins and strange looking things, man. And they're all here and they're all mixed up. They're all aliens. They're basically, what was that one I did? Damn, I was going to start like a series about it, but it wasn't popular like at all, and it made me sad, honestly. Hold up. What was that? What was the animal the elephant, right? Yes. Let me check that out. Hold on, I'm going to show you an example. Really good video. I put a lot of time into this one. JayDreamerZ elephant. Let's check that one out. Yes, this one right here. Okay, hold on. Let me make this. You see that? Okay, boom. Fantazoid animals. Okay, this is the only one in this whole series like I did. That was sad. I got to come back and do another one. Anyways, this whole video, okay, puts forth the case that elephants might be aliens, but they're not. They don't seem to be surface dwellers, right? That they are. I'm more inclined to believe, and there's a lot of evidence that I've found that suggests that elephants either descended from above or came from below, but they're not terrestrial. They're visitors, and we just got used to them. We just got used to seeing them. Anyway, that's a really good one. All right, let me stop doing this promotion stuff. All right. Let's watch the scientist eat the mammoth again. Isn't that bad? Isn't that terrible? That just shows, you know what I mean? That just goes to show. That's a scientist. That's like an acclaimed, approved, probably has degrees and all that. That's somebody who represents the academic community and geniuses and whatnot. Just eating permafrost. Like, oh, there's some permafrost. Look, it's got meat in it. Oh my god, I'm hungry. Let's have some permafrost. That's terrible. That's so messed up, bro. If you like eating meat that bad, best of luck. I don't know. Probably get the T virus. All right, anyways, where was I? Prisma Lunar is in the chat and says, Jay, when I ride my bike sometimes, it goes on its own without me pedaling. That is interesting. Strange. Let's see what else we got. Oh, you don't want to meet an evil dog. No, let's stay on the topic of dogs. That's a good one, actually. So let's check this out. Let's think about dogs as aliens, right? Just for a moment, right? Suspend judgment. Breeds of dogs. Let's just check this out, right? Look at all these different kinds of dogs, right? Where's a good one? I want to see. I should type in different breeds of dogs. This is fine. This will suffice for pal. All right, cool. So here's just an example, right, of different kinds of dogs, right? Now, I'm not one personally to believe that like we all animals and birds and insects and people and stuff all came from some soupy amoeba or whatever they teach in academics. But I am, intelligent enough to look at these three right here and say they look related, right? And I've also done research about dogs to see how long it took for like different breeds to actually, adapt or change or evolve or whatever words you want to use. They're changing. You know what I mean? This is also shown to us in the movie. What was it called? The Eternals, right? Ooh, man, that was a good breakdown. I highly recommend that one too, because the Eternals gets into phantazoids and the origin of animals on this world and people and stuff too, right? It gets into their quote-unquote extraterrestrial origins. These could easily derive from some otherworldly alien creature, which I believe these guys, I believe, all come from Earth. They're Earth-oriented, and they resonate. I feel, this is hard to describe when it's a lot of like feelings, and you know what I mean? So I'll just say I feel, and I've sensed inside of me that we share a connection with these creatures, an earthly connection, right? And that somehow we sort of like know each other. You know what I mean? I'm generalizing. I don't know how to put into words what I'm saying right now. But basically, like, I feel some kind of like ancient kinship with these particular animals, right? I like dogs, right? I'm a dog person. Cats are fine, whatever, but I just really like dogs a lot. And when they're portrayed on the movies, they're always portrayed as your protector. They have humanity's best interest at heart. And I don't believe that it's just because, dogs are fun to play with. Where'd that come from? You know what I mean? There's bad dogs. There's crazy dogs. There's psychotic dogs. There's killer dogs. You know what I mean? But it may be that a long time ago, when all of these phantazoids entered into our world, that we learned a new relationship. We had to learn how to have a relationship with different types of creatures that have different energy signatures, right? And we had to learn all about them. And some of them became friends with us. Just to put it simple, right? Like elephants. Like elephants became friends with us because they helped us to do things that, were easier for the elephant to do than it was for us to do. And dogs they're just really good at protecting. That's because these hellhounds originally protect the realm of the dead. They guard the underworld, right? Man, maybe they probably don't look like that. I doubt it. Like if these three are guarding the underworld, I'm walking right past. I'm just going to toss them a treat. But nah, their ancestors are mightier, just like ours. Their ancestors are stronger and tougher and more intelligent, right? So they changed. I do believe in like adaptation and stuff like that along those lines. All right, anyways, let me get back to aliens. I don't know how we got into dogs somehow. All right, let me get back to, let's do an alien picture. This is fine for now. All right, we'll talk for a little bit longer. We might come back to the subject again. Let me see. Oh, Hitchhiker's Guide. Yeah, that's a good one too, actually. I might break that one down. Who was that? Gentugon? Yes. All right, let me see what else we got in the chat. Anything? Everybody's just chilling. Do I think pit bulls are alien? I believe they're, all of them stem from aliens, if you would like to use that word. I use all these terms loosely, especially the word alien. You know what I mean? I could just mean anything. That's like saying God. Like everyone believes in God, but they all have totally different gods. They all have their own concepts. You know what I mean? So same with aliens, basically. Yeah, all the dogs to me have phantazoid ancestors, right? And I mean, there's some animals that just to me are clear that they have phantazoid ancestors. Like, there's just some that are just like, damn, that's alien looking. But that's just, you know, that's just an initial impression. Yes, man's best friend, right? Oh, and also there's the whole story of the ancient Tartarians, or the Tartarian tribe, right? That I believe circled in from the North Pole, just like I talked about in my Tartaria video, right? And that one I think is on my Ancient Oblivion playlist. The Tartarians were known to walk around as they traveled. They were nomadic. They had huge dogs, right? On the maps, they'll show like these Great Danes or something like that, like giant dogs, right? The dogs are getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller as we go. There's anomalies and stuff, but no, it's all shrinking. You basically live in Hermione's bag, or Merlin's bag, or Felix the cat's bag, or whoever's bag, where everything's shrinking. But fear not and worry not, because the time is soon coming when gigantism will return, when magic will return, when aliens will return, like in abundance. They'll be everywhere. We will be the minority. The animals will be in charge of this world once more, I believe. I could see them easily coming to their own power and reclaiming the earth once more, right? As we hide. Like, we have no guns, we have no technology, we have nothing. We're just feeble bodies, you know what I mean? Well, the survivors will likely have stronger bodies, but you know what I mean. All right, what else we got? We're talking about aliens, right? Let me see. Okay, cool. All right, let me just go off the top then. I'm just going to go off the top about aliens. So, we've talked about how the concept and the sightings are prolific. They're popping up all the time in the time that we live in. It's a topic that's on many people's minds. Oh, there's also the Bluebeam, right? The Project Bluebeam. Might as well bring that one up. I do want to talk about that. I enjoy having an alternative perspective on Project Bluebeam. All right, that'll work. Okay, cool. So I'm going to talk about Project Bluebeam and its relationship and association with the aliens, right? So according to mainstream fringe thought processes on Project Bluebeam, many people, you know, sort of get together and they believe that there will be a fake alien invasion, right? That the governments all across the world are all collaborating. I don't believe it. Like you could tell by my tone of voice. They're all collaborating. They're going to shoot lasers into the sky or from space, which is even crazier. And they're going to like create pictures that are going to be so realistic and convincing that people will like bow down and see their gods in the sky or whatever. But they also say that they're going to create a fake alien invasion. Now, hold on, right? On one hand, I don't believe it. On the other hand, I completely believe it. I can reconcile the two. There's no contradiction, right? There's just perceived contradictions. Anyways, so we have the pressure building up in our world. Electricity is building up in our world. More gases are being released into the air. You're going to have sightings. You're going to have an increase in lights in the sky being seen by people, right? And if their gas pockets are opening up within the earth and, you know, there's earthquakes and the animals and humanoids and creatures that live down below our feet, their world's crumbling and falling apart. I could see them surfacing and coming up to where there's safety or whatever, right? But according to Project Bluebeam, or mainstream thought about it, oh, my phone's doing something weird. Anyways, according to Project Bluebeam, there will be a fake alien invasion, right? On one hand, it will be fake, right? People will just see lights that may hover over, what do they call them? Dragon lines, ley lines, right? They're going to follow the currents, because if it's electricity, right? If it's electromagnetic in nature, like ball lightning, for example, right? There's many different forms, but let's just take that. Let's say you have ball lightning up there in the air. All these gases are being released into certain areas. They're going to follow a current, right? That current is eventually going to settle over a place that has a vortex or a vortice, right? Or a funnel that comes down, and it'll just hover over. Many times that's over major cities. Many times that's where people settle, is in the places of power after the apocalypse, where the beams of light shoot up and they can have light, right? They just went through 3 days of darkness. They see these poles shooting up that are illuminating things around it. There's no other light, so they flock towards these columns and pillars and poles and stuff like that, right? Those are places of energetic power. They call them polises, or, cities, basically, like metropolis, right? Those people settle there. They end up over time forgetting all about the lights and all about the energy that's released from huge cavernous systems or volcanoes or whatever it may be. And those all fade into memory. It becomes ancient oblivion. And then the energy starts to return as it coalesces and builds up for the polarity flip that we're going to go through, right? So all the pressure builds up, all the electricity builds up, all the gases are being released, they become ionized, and then you have the lights that will start to appear everywhere, and they will settle over these vortices. They will settle over these places of power, or ley lines, or dragon lines, or whatever you want to call them, or even subsidiaries, right? Even little side vortices and stuff, just like a river, just like any fluid, they're going to settle in those areas, right? And the people down here who don't study any of this type of stuff, and they're just used to Steven Spielberg, right? They're going to see a big old light hovering over their city in a circular shape, and they're going to cry alien. They're going to cry invasion when they see them starting to settle over major areas or populated areas or whatever. So that is the fake part of it. That's the fake alien invasion. I don't believe that it's anything orchestrated or done by humans, right? Like, just from my personal experience with humans, they are not team players. I can't see them doing this. I don't see them. I don't know. Like, if you think that the governments of your world have the technology and that they're going to, beam pictures of Jesus and Muhammad and aliens and stuff like that into the sky, the world across, so that everyone sees it or interprets it into their own way and sees their own personal gods or whatever, fine, cool. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying, to me, it's improbable. It's unlikely. When compared to something that is more probable and more likely, which is Mother Nature doing it, right? So anyways, that's the fake alien invasion. But immediately after that buildup, when you have the 1,000 points of light across the world that are all starting to settle, this is also Childhood's End, right? If you've ever, I read the book, I haven't seen the movie, but it's a short story. It's very good. I highly recommend it to put it on your reading list. It's just, I don't know, maybe 100 pages, if that. It's called Childhood's End. I think it was Arthur C. Clarke. But anyway, it's a really good book. And it's all about the same thing I'm talking about right now. So you have the fake alien invasion, which is basically lights, okay? This is the year of lights. It's the time of lights. All these lights show up all over the place. They'll take different forms, right? And people will have a huge increase in supernatural phenomenon that they see, ghost sightings and things of that nature. And they'll interpret it however their perception filters it. But then you'll have the real aliens that come afterwards, right? The fake ones are lights. That's all they are. They're just electricity in the sky or whatever. They're lights. That's all they are. They're lights. Are they sentient? And in that manner and respect, are they alien, like alien beings that are aware and sentient and stuff? I tend to believe so, because I believe that's spirit in its spirit form. But that's just me. But in regards to actual humanoid physical alien beings that walk and talk much like we do, or similar to how we do, right? Those come afterwards. Whenever all that pressure is released, we get through that polarity shift. We get a neutral point where the protective electromagnetic dome around our world goes down, all of the gases that are being held down go up to the apex. They blow out the top of the sky, and there is a portal. There is a stargate, if you want to call it that. There is an opening. The eye in the sky will open up, and beings will be able to leave here, but they'll also come in. The legends all indicate that when they arrive, there's a bunch, right? Not just the humanoids, okay? There's all kinds. There's weird-looking alien bugs, probably gigantic, that are up there, probably crawling around the top of the dome. There are animals, but they don't look anything like our animals. They would look like mutated, strange, monstrous versions of our animals, right? But when they come down in here, they quickly start to adapt, and their DNA is very intelligent, and it starts to read, and it starts to change based on its needs, or its new needs that it finds, right? If it doesn't, they go away. They become extinct rather quickly, right? They don't make it. They don't find food, or they're hunted. You know what I mean? It's an exciting time. It's an exciting time compared to today. So, hey, if you like, your comfy, modern, sitting on your butt all day, going to your job, living in the loop, whatever you do, I respect that. I do. But I can't wait for the exciting times to come. I can't wait, for it to be common knowledge once more, so that the people who were once seen as lunatics and crazies and tinfoil hatters and wild-eyed skeptics of this world, right? Or theorists, or whatever you want to call them, that it turns out they're right. And they're the ones who now have the important information on how to survive when thrown in and intermingling with all of these different strange, otherworldly creatures. Let's see. All right, just jumping in the chat real quick, and then we're gonna wrap things up. We got Ima, who says, "Poppin' clown aliens are frightening and not meant for kids." Okay, thank you. Let's see. Overlord says, "Yo, what's up, Jay and Good Vibe Tribe? What's up, Overlord? Good to see you." Jason Polzen says, "Jay, I have had visions of face appearing in the firmament, a woman wearing some kind of uniform." Okay, interesting. Let's see. Gen2 Gone says, "JayDreamerZ, have you seen the Flat Earth art exhibit at the Denver airport?" No, I have not yet. I have not. I'll have to remind me of that next time, and I'll check it out. Cat Van Du says, "Wow, Jay just described me." Well, I'm really just describing me, honestly. And the cool thing is that many of us resonate. That's why we're all here right now. There's going to be people that watch this video in the future. It was just a random video. They just came across it or whatever, and they're like, "Wow, it'll resonate," because like attracts like. We resonate. Our vibe is similar. So just like magnets, we all start coalescing. We all start getting together. Yes, thank you. All right, let's see. Ant people weren't represented in this discussion. Yes, they were. You just did. All right. I think that's about it for today. We'll probably touch on this topic again, I'm sure, pretty soon. What is today? Today's Saturday? No, today's Friday. So tomorrow I'll be working on Truth in Movies. I'll probably come back to Stranger Things. I'm just thinking. I'm also, doing a couple of collaborations with the Truth Mafia team and stuff like that. So anyways, I'm going to go because I always start rambling whenever it's time to go. I love everybody. Thank you, all of you, so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Please go check out my website. It's awesome. I don't know how, I'm going to make a commercial for my website because I'm I don't want to put myself down. Anyways, check out my website. It's cool. Everybody loves it. I love it. It's fun. And it's extremely informative, giving you lots of visuals for the things that we discuss here on my channel and in my books. All right, until next time, I'm JayDreamerZ saying good vibes and goodbye.
It'd be easy. Peru.